Thank you, thank you. I'd like to introduce you to Square Panda. Our mission is to empower all children with the gift of fluency and literacy so that they can achieve their full potential. Those are big, bold plans and a big, bold mission for a company that's only 2 years old. But that's the nature of startups, is to have high aspirations and set an aggressive path for the future. This is how we plan to do it and why it's important. We focus uniquely on children through the ages of 2 through 10 years of age. Why? Because this is when 85% of the neural circuitry gets formed for language skill acquisition. Whether you're learning a first language, such as in America, where we're in public schools, the focus is on literacy, learning how to read. Or a second language with our China operation here in Beijing, we're focusing on Mandarin speakers, learning a whole new system of language that's phonetically based, which is a different model of language. But regardless, the brain's neural circuitry was never wired for these skills. You have to exercise it in a very specific way. So all of our pedagogy that we deploy in our software is based on the latest research about what stimulates the brain to achieve these skill sets neurologically. We also deploy a global data and machine learning strategy. We're game-based, so children play games, and as they play games, they're being exercised with pedagogy specifically focused on literacy and language skill fluency. As they play those, we're doing not only data acquisition, we're measuring their engagement. Because if a child doesn't want to play, they don't have the opportunity for learning. We're also, we measure efficacy, because, and we do this through real-time hidden assessment. We call it internally our invisible assessment. As the children are playing, we're actually measuring against all different vectors of language skill acquisition. You know, conventional schooling is just measuring vocabulary size and deployment of that vocabulary with syntax and grammar. But actually, language is much more complex than that. Learning, for example, in a phonetic-based language, when you have a certain amount of vocabulary, do you understand the phonemic significance of those words? Can you isolate the phonemes and recognize them in other languages? Because once you're able to do that in English, you're able to take your limited knowledge, your limited vocabulary, and expand it that much faster. All of that goes into our optimization engine that's represented by this diagram, very typical AI kind of platform, but we keep optimizing over time. In 2 years, we've greatly evolved our platform, and that will never stop. Our architecture is also designed to be scalable. We are cloud-based. All of our interventions, what we call, people here would call lesson plans, that are specifically assigned to an individual child based on their personal learner profile and their real-time assessment of where they are in language fluency. All of that is cloud-based, so we can keep updating it, but also we can keep adding to it and specifically tagging it for a particular type of learner profiles. And this is all, given the complexity, you don't even have a choice. It has to be an AI engine. When you have so many different personal learner profiles that are changing on a real-time basis and you're assessing it and then applying interventions, it's way more than what a teacher who is managing 20 separate students simultaneously, or even greater numbers than that, can manage. So it's the perfect application of AI. We're not only here in China, but we're also in the United States. We're already in over 2,000 schools. We're also a home-based system. We sell different systems for parents than we do for the school systems. Obviously, school systems have a deeper understanding of the pedagogy, and so we provide a greater amount of information. With parents, we apply a more friendly, parent-friendly version of that. We have also just recently opened this year an office in India, which has started off as our software hub, but early in 2019, we will also be selling to the education market in India as well as the home market. I'd like to finally close with our board member and our largest investor, Andre Agassi, who likes to say, with education, there is hope. I couldn't say it better. Thank you. And I miraculously kept that under 5 minutes.
我们可以现场有向 Andy 老师提问的机会，你可以举手问，这是个非常难得的机会。Any questions? That is okay.
Yes. May's our general manager of the Beijing office, so this is unfair, but anyway.
I'm sorry, but I do have a question for my CEO. So
we don't get to see each other often enough.
Thank you for your precise and concise summary of our company and of our product, etc. So, I want to ask you, what's your vision of Square Panda in China in the next 5 years? It's a very big question.
I'll rephrase the question. My aspiration for China as we advance this engine, this data optimization engine that's specifically focused on this unique skill of fluency acquisition, is that we actually discover new forms of curriculum henceforth that are not being deployed, that aren't understood. Because I know we'll see digital signatures in the results and also in the trajectory of children's learning path. We'll see what interventions work best, and equally important when you're data mining, what interventions don't work, because that also gives you the dynamic that you're looking for to improve your algorithms. Thank you.
谢谢 Andy 老师精彩的 wonderful speech. Thank you very much, and please be seated. 让我们有请下一个 program. It's a very famous one if you have heard of it. 他是我们的卡达故事的创始人谢林飞老师 Sally 谢 Welcome.
各位朋友，大家下午好，我是KaDa故事的创始人 Sally。今天跟大家聊一聊，就是说大数据在儿童早期阅读中的一些应用。那KaDa故事作为一个数字内容平台呢，为孩子提供优质、丰富和个性化的早期阅读的内容啊，主要是3个点：优质、丰富和个性化。那我的数据如何应用，将从这3个点来展开。先说一下公司定位，就是说KaDa故事的主要核心内容是有声绘本。所谓绘本就是画出来的故事，或者说是没有文字的故事。那么对于不识字的小孩来说，认知这个世界最直观有效的内容形式其实是图像。所以说，其实孩子的早期阅读本质上是图像阅读。图像阅读它的这个在脑部的这个存储容量越大，在后期它过渡到抽象的文字学习的时候会有加速度啊，所以我们也希望配上声音的图像阅读，也就是有声绘本，能够成为孩子首选的内容平台。第一个就是怎么样发现好内容。好内容一定不是说专家或者说是获奖的就是好内容。那我们评价好内容是从3个方面，第一个是打开率，就是说这个整个形象孩子是否喜欢。那第2个是阅读完成率。好的内容，孩子自然会一气呵成看完。第3个是重复阅读率，小朋友有个特点，喜欢反复看。所以从这3个数据，我们有一套综合的评价体系，能够用客观的小朋友的手指来对内容进行评价。我们来看一下，在过去3年中，像我爸爸、我妈妈一些世界头部内容，它在KaDa故事平台上的数据是，重复阅读率是32%。然后完成率是65%，但是KaDa故事上过万的内容，经过我们这样的标准，我们会发现有26%的作品，它比头部作品的内容还要好，就是那个重复阅读率还要高，有超过50%的作品比世界经典的内容65%的数据还要好啊！我们通过这种方式来客观的评价内容的品质。那来看一下，比方这一个是就在北京啊，北京的原创 YY2， 它的完成率有90%，非常高。然后它的重复阅读率有49%，也就是说100个孩子去看，有50个小朋友会重复读第2遍及以上，这是非常棒的作品。但是它可能没有什么奖，但是孩子真的很喜欢。那第二个就是说怎么样做到个性化。 那KaDa故事目前是2层算法，第一个我们称为是静态数据的匹配，孩子的属性跟内容的标签进行关联。第二个是静态属性的关联孩子的使用行为，打开分享保存购买数据进行关联。通过这2层算法达到一个千人千面，就是每个孩子，我们看一下，每个孩子进去的界面都是不一样的，孩子能够看到属于他的、适合他的内容。那么最后说一下，就是说我们说的个性化也好，品质也好的前提是要足够大的量所以KaDa故事是一个平台的方式能够确保有足够的内容体量，去实现所谓的智能算法，去实现所谓的个性化推荐。那目前KaDa故事跟全球超过200家的头部的内容机构已经建立了非常稳定的内容供应链，源源不断的内容每天每周向我们输送过来。但不是我们什么内容都要，我们会通过上面的方法来选择优质内容给到孩子所以平台化确保了内容的品质，同时又能够帮助我们去实现个性化这个丰富性也是一个基础那么我讲的就是这些那KaDa故事其实是属于在这个消费升级的年代，那家庭对于儿童的精神消费这个需求是越来越旺盛那我们希望通过自己的努力，能够让孩子通过小小的KaDa故事能够看到世界的经典，能够不断的接受这个吸取高价值的精神食粮所以说我们希望通过故事 make anytime story time。 谢谢大家。
大家有什么问题向 Sally 老师提问吗？丁真老师，你有什么问题吗？
可以节约2分钟给下一位。
江明老师有什么问题吗 ？OK， 我们把话筒给那边的先生，谢谢。
站起来。
谢总，其实我跟您认识我是想问一下，我这个问题是作为孩子的父亲来问这个问题，就是说，您这个故事上的绘本怎么学的也好，但是它的最终的实验形式是通过电子终端来阅读的，这个跟孩子，因为现在大家家长比较担心的孩子视力问题。
我觉得这是一个很普遍的，很多人关心的，但是我们是觉得，就是90后的家长，他生活在一个物质相对丰富、精神也比较独立的这么一个年代，所以他对孩子其实这个宽容度和尊重度其实是有所提升的。所以我是觉得，作为KaDa故事来说，做到2点，就是说第一个，就是说这个产品能不能够真正帮家长解决问题，比方说选品的问题、陪伴的问题和数据反馈的问题。那我们相信这个科技的发达，包括彩色的电子墨水已经出来了，只是目前暂时成本还比较高。硬件是随时会完善的，但是你整个内容体系、内容供应链里当中心思东西有没有做好所以说KaDa故事可能是在做3到5年后的市场，我们是想把里面的整个内容平台这个心思做好等到硬件成熟的时候那我们相信就是说一定会有一款给到孩子的终端可能是类似于就是儿童的 Kindle 会出现。谢谢。
谢谢谢老师。
我可以再问一个问题吗？谢总你好，我自己是做教育投资的，所以也有关注到早教还有儿童这个领域。特别是咱们现在越来越多的企业在做儿童的绘本，还有有声的读物。然后我想问一下，您对于这个领域公司未来发展的一个规划的思考，是向平台化去发展演化，还是说专注在上端的这个优质的儿童内容的生产和供给？因为现在市场上可能有跟咱们KaDa是直接相对应的一些企业，它可能不是采用平台化的方式在经营，它可能是专注在自己去生产一些优质的儿童内容。这个其实因为说到底，整个这个市场是内容为王的，那么最终对于一个平台化的企业而言，它也要抢夺到优质的 IP 跟优质的儿童内容，才能够持续的发展跟经营下去。所以我想问一下您在这个方面的一个战略的思考。
是这样的，就是说，其实KaDa故事的对于用户来说，我们是很明显，我们的初衷就是要把最好的内容给到孩子。但事实上，我们对于这个行业，我们觉得也是很有价值的。我们作为平台需要做的是赋予内容方在互联网经营内容的能力， 也就是说，其实就是今年下半年我们会开始，我们现在是京东的 PPC 的模式，我们会逐步成为半天猫模式。也就是说，内容方他自己能够在互联网上，在我们平台上经营这样的内容。那我们是希望这个行业能够欣欣向荣，有不断的优质内容方能够涌进到我们的平台上来，而我们的数据、我们的测试流量又能够去判断这个内容值不值得收费，能够打包成什么样的产品啊？所以说是平台开放的模式，然后这个内容会就是整个生态起来了，然后孩子在使用这个内容的过程中，数据能够告诉我们什么作品它是有 IP 潜力的。所以说未来我们跟整个生态，所谓游戏和动漫也都会有非常紧密的合作包括我的投资人当中也有这方面的一些，也是这个产业的。那至于他们现在，比方说设计师和一些内容家、内容创作者，他们闷头去做东西，做得很辛苦，但可能孩子并不买单。那在KaDa故事平台上内容，它已经可能每天是几百万的点击，孩子也很喜欢了。那拿去做一些动漫的改编，它的风险就会降低很多所以肯定是那句话，就赋予内容方在互联网经营内容的能力，是我们要去的地方。
谢谢。
谢谢谢老师辛苦了，欢迎大家私下就这个儿童绘本和 IP 这个故事多和谢老师交流。然后 let's welcome our next project. It's a Neurotech solution. Let's see what your story is.
So good afternoon everyone, my name is Ohad Lavi and I'm here today to talk to you about attention. So take a second and look at this slide. Albert Einstein once said, everyone's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life thinking it was stupid. But that's exactly what we're doing every day with children. We're asking them to climb trees, and when they fail, or some of them fail, we judge them, we tell them they're stupid, we tell them that they're incompetent, that they won't succeed in life, instead of embracing what makes them different, what makes them successful. And that's what personalization is trying to do. And we are trying to tackle personalization from the perspective of attention. And I'm going to try to show you why attention is so important to personalization. So I'm going to do a small exercise with you. I'm going to show you 4 templates of data, of layouts, and I want you to choose the one that is best fit for you. So disregard what you should choose only what works for you, right? So remember the numbers. So this is number 1, the first option. Take a look at that, sink it in. This is the second layout, a bit different. Third layout. And fourth one. So hopefully you made a choice. So use your hands in the air now and make your choice obvious. So number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Do it now. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, quite a good variety. So actually, when we tested it on subject, it was very much evenly distributed. But most graphic designers would only use one of these templates, normally, shooting for the middle, shooting for the average. Well, in fact, this has a lot to do with your attention profile. Let me show you what I mean. So this first profile is very much related to someone who has visual distractibility from the point of view that it actually helps them concentrate. So these are the people that sit in coffee shops with all the commotion around and they're doing brilliantly. They will choose this template most of the times. This person is the other way around. So this is the person that visual distractibility harms their ability to focus. So they would need a clean, no distraction environment. These two are very important because they are big taboos in the world of graphic design. You won't see them a lot, but almost 50% chose one of those templates. It has to do with people with sustained attention. The one on the top are people that start relatively strong with attention, and after around 10 minutes, they kind of reduce their attention levels. And the ones on the bottom are the other way around. These are people that takes them 10 minutes to warm up before they are focused. You know these people, maybe you are one of them. So attention has a lot to do with what we see here, personalization. And this is exactly what we do in Neurotech. We designed a few years ago an attention profiling engine, scientifically validated, which is basically an online cloud-based game that people play between 14 to 18 minutes. And we use it first for clinical diagnosis of ADHD, But earlier this year, we launched an educational application that creates an attention profile of all children and gives them recommendations on how to perform better. And a word about attention. Attention is not one thing. It's not just about how focused you are on a boring task. It's all of these skills that you see here. It's a fan of skills. Most of them are stable, some even genetic, and they are critical for almost everything we do in life. Think about parenting, coupling, education, work, almost everything. But we hardly know anything about our own attention profile. In a survey that was done in Israel about 3 or 4 years ago, almost 50% of the people believed that they had attention problems, but the prevalence in the population is about 5%. So we don't really understand ourselves. And it's critical because in the field of education, attention has a lot of relevance to retention rates, dropout rates, and success in grades. So basically what we did, what I mentioned before, is we launched this product, which I'll show you a short promotional video of, and we launched it across the world in about 7 countries to date. So let me show the video and we'll talk about it a bit later. Neurotech presents Axon School.
Dear Diary, I was so happy today. I jumped all over. I finally got better grades. Mom would be so proud. Mrs. Chase always told me I could do it. But you know, it wasn't always like this. 6 months ago, I was sitting at the back of my class. I never really managed to concentrate, especially on subjects I didn't care for, like English. Oh my gosh, butterfly! What was I saying? Oh yeah! Then one day, Mrs. Chase sat me down for a short computerized test that felt a bit like a game, called Accent. The test helped Mrs. Chase learn about my attentional challenges and those of my classmates. She did the same thing with Emma, Lucas. Then, Mrs. Chase used the test results to give me cool tips on how to do better in class and at home. Things that really made a difference. Like how it would be easier for me to wake up in the morning. Or how to calm myself down when my little sister is driving me mad. And I even started taking up martial arts. Hi-ya! It's really helping with my self-control. Even in class, Mrs. Chase found a solution, moving me closer to her and away from the window, so I don't get distracted. And when I do, she's always there to give me an important mission. I even got these special headphones to block out the noise when I'm doing an exam. Only for me. Now it's fun to come to school. I can't wait to show off my grades to Mom. Accent School, facing attentional challenges together.
That's my daughter, by the way. Family business. Thank you. Thank you. So as I mentioned, we already launched in a few countries, and I'm out of time, so I'm just going to say that we are looking for more collaborations, and we're also looking for companies that want to integrate our engine within their own services, because attention has power in many, many aspects. And if it's of interest to you, let me know after the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lavi. That's very impressive. 在座观众谁的从小或者是谁的孩子有注意力缺陷症的，不要错过这个机会，抓紧时间提问。Any questions?
Was that clear? Right.
Don't be shy. Brian has a question.
Okay, Brian.
Hello. My colleague was discussing if she had ADD before when she was children. So I want to know a bit more about your engine, how it applies to children, and if it gives certain recommendation to teacher or students after certain assessment will be performed. Can you elaborate more?
Yeah, Brian, thank you for the question. It is basically a test, which is a game-based test, which the subject needs to react to target, non-target elements. And it has a lot of distractions, visual and auditory distractions. And as a result, we collect more than 1,000 different markers of attention, and we create 250 distinct profiles. For each of these profiles, we have specific recommendations. They were built by professionals in the field, educational psychologists, clinical psychologists, neurologists even. And we've collected it from different countries. Even now, we just set up our business in China, in Guangzhou, and we're collecting norms locally. And also we are localizing our recommendations. And there are practical recommendations, starting from where should the student sit in class, next to a window, away from the door, in the front of the class, etc. and also educational recommendations for a parent how to help the child perform better in class, at home, sorry. So for example, should I advance my child in the material, or should I return on things he already learned in class? For one person, that would be great. For the other one, it's a boomerang effect. If you take an impulsive child and you teach him material that he has not learned yet in class, he's going to be sitting in class, he's going to be bored, and he's going to interrupt the rest of the class. But if you do it with an inattentive child, he's going to sit in class and he's going to say, hey, great, I know this stuff. He's going to participate and he's going to get out of the cycle where he's always catching up to other children.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's welcome our next 来自于海外的一个英语流利说，看 SpeakingPal 它是怎样用它的产品和技术来解决英语学习的问题的。
I like the music. So I'm Eyal from SpeakingPal from Israel also. And I'm going to talk about English. At least you see the Chinese, that's fine. So we develop new technologies for English language learning and of course new product based on these technologies. But we mainly focus on the speaking skill. And we build intuitive, not expensive, easy available product. Why are we doing this? Mainly, we want to provide equal opportunities for all students, and English today is the language of globalization. We're from Israel, you're from all around the world, we speak English, right? So that's important today. And speaking English, specifically speaking, equals more opportunities. You can do more. I can stand and speak and express myself and share my company with you, but not all students get the same opportunities. And actually, last year, China declared very interesting, I wish Israel would say the same, to achieve equal opportunity in education in, you don't see, by 2020. That's unbelievable. And the idea is to provide access to quality education, whether you live in a city or in a rural area far away. And how are we doing what we wish to do? So we introduced the first virtual personal English tutor, and we try to make it as close as possible to a real English tutor, and the best way, instead of speaking, is to show something.
Are you enjoying your meal?
No, my hamburger is cold and undercooked.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Can I bring you something else?
I want another hamburger.
I'm sorry, that was our last one.
Then can you cook this one for longer?
The chef just went out for her lunch break.
Can she buy me a hamburger while she's out? Okay, so just a quick, I have 5 minutes, so we'll move back to the slide. Just a quick experience. We try to make it quick, fun, and very experimental. Some advantages, the main thing, you saw the stars, we have more scores, but who cares about the score? First, we let the children or even young adults speak. Open up their mouth. It builds the confidence because it's a safe, intimate environment. When you feel safe to speak and you build confidence, you get more from classes. You have more confidence, you do better at class, and of course you'll do better at your tests. So that's the first thing. It's not expensive, it's software, it's easy to actually get to any place around the country or the world, and we actually bundle it with many other solutions, so it can be added. And we have a special feedback, which is intelligibility. I don't have time to talk about, but it's not pronunciation, it's actually how clear, how people can understand you. I have very Hebrew accent, but you understand me. That's enough. I don't need more than that. So it's not exactly pronunciation, it's how clear people understand my speaking. Of course, this saves time. where are they being used, these kind of solutions? So of course in class, bundled with learning in a class with teachers, but also after class. Imagine kids doing homework, speaking English, when maybe they don't have English-speaking teachers, of course, parents or friends. Or they can just self-learning, they can bundle with other online products, and we do all kind of these. One thing about the quality, we come from Israel, we teach English. You didn't ask yourself, maybe, isn't that, we don't speak English as a native language in Israel. Well, it's approved by the Israeli Ministry of Education, but also by ETS, a shareholder of us, the technology, the English lessons. If you don't know ETS, the leader in life-changing test assessment of English, TOEFL, TOEIC, and others. So some customers of ours like diplomas, so we also give diplomas. The interesting thing is we give diplomas to our students who finish a course, but also for teachers who practice and improve their speaking. We're globally deployed, more than 6 million students around the world, institutions, 3 ministries of education, consumers, even corporates are using us. Many awards that I'll just skip in innovation and for the technology. We use AI and we use adaptive networks and specific speech recognition. We create our products, but we also license our technologies to other much bigger companies of English, so they can enjoy the technology with their content and their products. We have amazing technology that I'm not going to talk about because of the lack of time, but we're a group of experts from Tel Aviv, Israel, and I thank you for your time. This is my widget if you want.
别忘了加WeChat 那一页再多留一下。
This was my widget.
前一页 PPT， 再回去一下。
Any question?
Yeah， 有没有问题？
So I have two questions. So first, when you build your Avanta,
Can you get a... Thank you.
I'll try.
So I have two questions. So first, when you build your Avanta, are those language rule-based or machine learning-based? Basically, did you build it from grammar rules or based on real conversations?
The speech engine, that's what you mean?
The speech engine.
Okay.
And the second question is that I'm quite curious why you decided to start with serving the institution instead of selling it to individual customers.
Okay. So we use AI. Actually, we started using rule-based for several years, and we switched to AI. So today we're using AI at the back of the speech, but it's much more. Maybe we can get to technology afterwards because it's interesting for me, but I'm not sure for the rest of the group. This was developed for the students. So actually, it was a self-learning tool. We developed it for ourselves. I'm a Hebrew speaker. I struggled, like many people here, with learning English. So it was something that we invented for ourselves. And it was very much focused on the end user. And then we launched it. We won 6, 7, 8 awards. And suddenly institutions, English companies approached us and said, let's do something together. So actually they dragged us to be a B2B product, if that was your question. And actually so today we have 2 legs. I must say that the B2B is much bigger. And we added some, so we're still focusing on the end user. The product is for the learner. But we have a whole lot of a group of tools. For example, teachers. I mentioned the equality, right? How do we achieve that? Students learn separately, so they achieve different pace in their advancement in the language. What we can help with is if you have a group of 30 students, they all get homework, the teacher can see the 3, 4, 5 who didn't manage, who didn't do anything, who were having trouble, and focus only on them. And the good thing about that, it's not only us, many digital products. If the teacher finds after 2, 3 months, only on the test, that these 5 kids are behind, it's very difficult, almost impossible, to bring them back. They lose their confidence, they miss some material. When they come to class, they know it's too difficult for them, they will not do the effort. If you catch that after a day, 2 week, you still have the chance to bring them back to the group. So that's the idea of how keeping the kids together, whether they have the same background, whether their parents can pay for a private teacher or not, and whether they just missed some weeks of material and feel embarrassed, unconfident. So B2B is the stronger, but we are focusing on the end user. We have consumers. Yes.
Would be where are all the users located, or like majorly located or segmented for your app?
One thing we found out very quickly is that English is extremely, because the demand is huge, right? 2-3 billion people learning English, everybody. So they're huge companies. So making our own products and pushing them to the market was not the best way for us. So our growth strategy is we do our products, we love them, but we started licensing our technology, which has edges, and we can discuss more separately. And big companies are licensing our technology to bring live or speaking live to their existing products. That's one of the key, growth strategy that we have today. We license the technology. We also do some co-branding of our products. So we bring our product. With slight changes. You may have seen even some of the products that we made without you knowing. So these are the two main pillars of our growth strategy. How much? Okay, in a B2B, it's based on the quantities. If you have small quantities in thousands, it will be dozens of dollars a year. If you're talking about hundreds of thousands, it will be around a few dollars a year for the partner. So large partners with the large reach can enjoy. It's a win-win. These are our customers. They get it for a very small amount. We get big deals with little efforts. So we can focus on technology. They focus on sales.
感谢 SpeakingPal， 我们可以有私下更多的时间和SpeakingPal 更多时间交流，然后也希望它能够打开各位看项目和投资的思路。Let's welcome our next one。它虽然是中国公司，但是它的市场在海外，被誉为这个幼儿版的 MakeBlock， 它就是我们的 Matatalab， 它的 CEO 苏荣兴，然后让我们欢迎他。
大家好。对，我们是做面向3到8岁的儿童 STEAM 产品与教育服务。我不清楚就是在座的大家对于 STEAM 教育这个事情的理解程度是多少，但它应该是现在整个教育界里面一个非常大的一个全球的一个变革和一个趋势。我们大概会认为说，当前存在2个现实，一个现实是说 STEAM 教育的渗透率其实会越来越高，然后这个不只是在美国或者欧洲或者中国，而是在全球都是这样的普及的趋势，然后它会从中学开始到小学，然后再往下去延伸。然后 STEAM 里面有一个核心的一个热点是儿童编程这一部分。那从我的理解来讲，就是编程其实是给儿童提供一个新的构建的一个工具，然后它可能能够有计算思维或者一些逻辑思维或者一些这种等等这样一系列的一些对儿童的一些有价值的事情，包括说儿童可能基于这个能做很多他原来做不到的事情，他可以自己做游戏，自己做动画，自己做一个机器人，或者说去讲一个这种一个故事的一个场景。那我们能接到很多的这种来自于全球各个市场的反馈，就是小学的1、2年级或者说幼儿园再去找类似的产品，希望能够让孩子能够在这个阶段就能够去把这些事情用起来。然后那另外一个现实是说，就是现在所有做儿童编程的公司都在以 Scratch 所开创的这种图形化编程的产品为基础，然后来去提供这种编程的方式，然后可能再往后是更高阶的这种文本式的 Python 等等这样的编程方式。但 Scratch 其实本身是为8岁以上儿童来设计的，它需要儿童具备有识字的能力，然后需要具备精细的操作，然后需要理解一些就是软件上复杂的一些交互，因为编程还算是一个生产力的工具。 然后那所有的我们看到的类似于乐高的对，头脑风暴，包括 Block， 包括 Wonder， 包括等等这样的一些品牌，就是大家都是在用类似的这种方式来去做。然后那这个会带来2个问题，一个问题是说，这样的方式对于3到8岁的儿童其实是不适用的，对，他们很难去能够真的去用这样的一个复杂的方式。对于儿童，他在不同年龄段他的认知能力都会有很大的区别。然后这是一点，第2点就是我记得刚才应该有一个在座的一个提到说，大家对于屏幕的这种就是敏感性。那对于低龄段的儿童确实会有这样的问题。那第2个是说，编程还是一个有复杂度的事情。那所有做 STEAM 推广的公司遇到一个很大的问题，就是师资的问题，就是没有老师可能能够很快的去上手。然后当你希望把这件事情变得普及的时候，你会发现说，很多老师对于这件事情他心里是有一定的这种就是抵触心理，或者说一定的这种就是心理上的门槛，对。所以就是如果说我们希望这件事情能普及到全球的教育和家庭的话，那整个的应用性会需要进一步的去下降。OK， 这是我们想解决的问题。那我们的解决方案，第一个是说我们会提供一个比 Scratch 更易用的一个编程的工具。那这个编程工具它是实体的，它是可以编程的，然后在英语里面叫 Tangible Programming Language， 然后它是不需要屏幕的。然后第2个是说，它会有对于这个年龄段儿童设计的这种应用场景和应用的玩法，就它不太能说像纯软件一样，或者像其他的一样，就是去用很多复杂的一些功能，或者去用很复杂的一些编程的一些逻辑，它会更适合于这个年龄段的认知，会从基础的这种序列或者说顺序或者等等这样的一些概念开始。然后第3个是说，我们依然希望说这个功能它有具备丰富的一些扩展性，能够支撑儿童去做一些比较有趣、比较好玩的项目，或者说能够再往后面去进阶。然后最终我们会去定义说，会有一个适合于3到8岁儿童的编程启蒙的产品，然后它能够适用于 K 到2这个阶段，就是从幼儿园到小学2年级的教育和家庭的市场。我可以简单列一下目前市场上的一些现有的公司或者产品，或者它能适用的年龄段。然后这个不是一个精确的数字，但我们大概从产品层面上可以做这样的划分。因为对于儿童来讲，其实他不同年龄段需要的东西应该都是差别很大的。然后如果在座是父母的话，应该会对这一点有比较多的了解。对，那我们会专注于做3到8岁这个阶段。OK， 这是我们的产品。因为现场没有演示了，基本上我们会是一个以不需要手机、不需要平板、不需要电脑，然后纯粹是一个可能开相机玩，然后它是用这种就是一些实体的方式，然后用图像识别的技术，然后来控制这些机器人，来去做一些就是游戏化的东西，然后做一些音乐或者绘画这样的一些玩法。OK， 然后这是我们的几个核心的特点：实物编程化、游戏化、音乐和绘画、机器人的制作。这是我们目前在全球市场的一些情况，然后包括意大利、美国、俄罗斯，然后中国、韩国。就是德国，包括等等其他的。我们目前的进展是说，我们大概是在今年的8月份正式的出货，然后大概在3个月的时间是进入了全球30个国家。然后中美是我们主要在去做零售的这个市场，就是去做家庭的用户。然后整个应该是进入了2000多个家庭。然后整个的渠道就是目前的月增速大概会在10%，因为这会是一个全球都在去就是有很多的需求，但可能供给不足的这样的一个地方，所以我们在市场开拓上会比较快。然后月均的营收大概是在100万，然后我们预计的明年的计划应该是在5倍以上的增长。OK， 左边是机构的用户，机构用户的评价就是会包括说一些关键的点，就是它不需要孩子具备识字的能力，然后不需要屏幕，然后非常简单，开机即玩等等一些，然后包括说我们拿了芬兰的 KaDa 的这样的一个教育的认证。然后对等等以及各个国家的一些认证，包括一些工业设计的一些奖项。然后右侧是家庭用户的评价，就是基本上就是3岁、4岁、5岁、6岁的孩子，包括男孩和女孩都很喜欢，等等的。OK， 这是我们大致的模式，就是我们会通过提供硬件，然后加内容，然后加对应的渠道，然后来去走向教育和家庭的市场。然后那对于教育和家庭，我们会提供不同的这种内容的组合。OK， 然后我们就是橙色的是目前我们已经发布的产品， 然后浅橙色的是我们目前在研发中的，然后最终我们应该会有一个新的另外一个非编程期的一个新的产品线来去做，然后的定位依然是这样的一个市场。OK， 简单面积，对我加快一下。对，这是我们的一些内容的情况，这是我们的销售和一些渠道的情况。对，这是我们大致的业务的计划。对 ，OK， 然后这是我们的团队的情况，就是我们之前会有就是互联网或者说 Make-blog 或者 Steam 领域等等这样的一些经验，然后包括我们有一个可能在幼教领域里面很有经验的一个研发的同事。OK， 大致的融资计划，这个就不细讲了。OK， 好，谢谢大家。
我知道现场有很多就是投过低龄端 STEAM 项目的在线或者是线下的，也在做创业的，所以要不要有很多问题，比如说杨老师要不要 PK 一下？任何问题 ？Any questions you can raise? OK， 丽丽有问题。
谢谢。你好，我是 One Shop 中国的市场经理。刚刚听您讲了，确实很多这种哭脸，我们也经历到很头疼。所以其实看到您现在的产品可能更集中在家庭用户，就是 to C 的这一块。但是您有一批里面也讲到说，在渠道上也在开拓，也就是 to B。那如果要是对这种教育机构来说，培训老师就是师资这一环是最重要的，它既要有这种编程的一些逻辑的基础，而且它是一个可以跟小孩很合得来的一个幼教老师。对，所以在这一块培训的话，你们会针对自己的产品做怎样的计划呢？做怎样的试训？然后会用什么方式？比如是在线的，还是线下面授呢？还是说用这种剧本式的教材来支撑他们做这种之后的教学？
大概两个，第一个我们目前主要的其实还是在 B 端，就是还是以幼儿园或者说以小学的低龄段为主。然后我们在 C 端的尝试更多的是在中国和美国再去做尝试，大部分海外的国家。包括中国，其实 B 端也是我们就是应该是对占更多部分的一部分的业务。那培训这一部分就是因为我反正做过就是从比较复杂的这种就是编程的机器人的产品到现在比较简单的，所以会有比较多直接的感受。就是我们现在如果去到一个小学或者到一个幼儿园去演示这个产品，如果说它能够自己实际去用起来的话，其实它能够很容易去 get 到这个点。或者我们再给他配一些书或者一些简单的一些视频，其实老师能够用起来。我目前在北京应该是有可能50家左右的幼儿园已经在用我们的产品再去上课，就是可能在整个的这种就是师资遇到的这种困难上，其实会比以前要好非常非常多。然后那第二个就是关于这件事情怎么样能够更规模化，就是我们会去做一些这种视频的录播课，然后最终能够让老师能够更便捷的去用。对，然后另外一个就是整个教案的问题了。就教案可能在全球都是一个问题，可能海外会更好一点。那国内就是大家其实整个教育界会需要你提供更详尽，然后更易使用的这种教案。那我觉得这些基本功可能都是免不了的，对。
好，谢谢苏老师。
好，谢谢。
私下还可以多交流。然后我们项目路演现在过了一半，然后下面的时间我们可以做一个动手环节。然后我们这里可能会让大家动手搭一个特别新奇的、从来没有玩过的东西，然后具体是什么，我们让 Piper 的 Mark 来告诉你。Mark, do you need some assistant? You can pick one from the audience.
It's okay.
Okay.
大家你好，我叫马克。谢谢。我不会说中文。I'll speak in English. My name is Mark. I'm the founder, CEO of Piper. And at Piper, our mission is to empower the inventors and creators of tomorrow. And we believe that it got cut off. But our mission is to create tools to allow kids of this generation to see technology as something more than just a black box devices that they consume. We want them to create with technology, to see it more as Legos, something they can tweak and alter. And so our first product is actually a computer kit that kids build and program themselves through the game of Minecraft. 我的世界. And I actually have one here in front of me. So this is how it comes, and kids actually spend about 2 hours assembling a computer themselves. This is just a quick slide about everything that we've achieved over the last couple of years, some press, some awards. We've been mentioned in some of the top publications, and actually were Toy of the Year along with Lego, which is one of the highest, it's probably the highest award that you can receive as a kid's product. We currently ship the product to over 80 countries and are over 1,000 schools in the United States. High level, this is our tracking to date. Raised some money, got some revenue, and sold over 40,000 units. And this is kind of how we see the market. We see a lot of other products in the STEM space, teaching coding, teaching making microcomputers, other STEM curriculum products. And we see the Piper product, and our product specifically, as the platform that bridges a lot of these things together into one. We believe that our unique offering is the combination of hardware, software, and the electrical components. So by combining the three disciplines, we allow kids to actually create anything they want in the IoT space. We believe that's the next generation, just like Legos was something that I played with as a kid, allowing me to create just physical products. Today's kids need to understand how technology works at the hardware, the electrical, and the software level. So we combine all those three into one. This is kind of how we see the product evolving. So right now, we teach kids through a story inside of Minecraft. We teach them the basics of electronics. We also teach them through our proprietary coding language, Piper Code. We teach them how to build physical gadgets, physical devices, and actually code them. We also have physical gadgets that we sell as peripherals that kids can actually play and enjoy, and we have a 3D printing component. So kids can actually design their own unique products inside of a 3D world and print them out. The product pipeline of products we'll be releasing over the next 18 months. And actually Steve Wozniak had a few nice things to say. I think he said today on stage, he mentioned it as one of the best products. So he thinks it's the best toy for kids to learn how to build things. And actually Elon Musk bought 8 units for his kids in their school when we first launched. And their feedback was very good. The kids actually started using Piper to do general purpose homework. They were actually hooking up a keyboard and learning a lot more than we had actually expected they would from Piper. This is kind of how we see the market. On the consumer side, we see a huge industry that is shifting more and more away from plastic, disposable toys to IoT, connected learning toys. And on the school side, we see another huge opportunity, specifically in the US, combining to over $100 million in opportunity for us. It's kind of our revenue and projections. And this is a curriculum product that we're actually developing and releasing every release this year, where we sell to schools in the US. And right now, we're actually working with partners here in China, and happy to work with other partners who have learning centers, who have schools, to bring the Piper product, the curriculum, to learning centers and schools in China. This is the founders, myself and my 2 co-founders, done a lot of great things together. This is some of our advisors and investors, kind of some of the best in the industry of education, entertainment, technology. And this is the team in San Francisco. That's where we're based. So to end on a good note, I think Wozniak always has really good quotes. So he said this is
the thing I would recommend to any kid I wanted to turn out creative.
So that's for us. That's how we we think of Piper, we think this is the next tool for the next creative generation. And we hope that by working with partners here, we can bring this product to China the same way that we brought it to the United States. So here is my Weixin, and feel free to connect. Happy to connect and speak with you. Thank you.
Any questions? You can raise the mark. Yeah.
So the question was, what are we looking for in China? Yes, we're open to discussing everything. I mean, we see China as a big opportunity, and our mission is to empower kids all over the world. So however we can work with you to achieve that mission, we're open to doing that.
I have a quick question. So I noticed that you sell the products through Amazon, right? So in the US, are you majorly doing a 2C type of ways, or you're doing 2B as well? And how are you seeing over here in China? Like, are you going to do a 2B or 2C? Have any plan or preliminary plan going into the market?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so the majority of our sales in the US have been B2C, and we're now expanding the B2B market. So that's why we've developed a curriculum. We have over 1,000 schools using the product. Right. Yes. So, but we see the China market is actually mainly a B2B market, selling to learning centers, to schools, maybe less consumer. So that's how we want to enter the market here. And so we're looking for partners to help us do that. So we have curriculum, we have the product, we have the training ready to go. Oh, so it's $299. That's the consumer price.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah. 杨老师有问题，然后私下可以跟 Mark 再继续交流。Okay. Let's welcome our next one. Our next one with ThinkCERCA. It's 是被比尔盖茨基金会投资的，是一个非常有名的项目。我们好未来在其中也有参与。Let's welcome ThinkCERCA.
Hello, my name is Eileen Murphy, and I'm the founder and CEO of ThinkCERCA. I'm going to speak in English. Our company teaches critical thinking. So over the past few days, you've heard a lot about the importance of teaching kids how to think critically in a very complex and fast-moving society. That's what we set out to do from the beginning, because as we built our company out of Chicago Public Schools, the third largest system in the United States, we realized that our students, in order to access the economic opportunities in the United States, would need much more sophisticated skills than they needed 100 years ago, and many of our schools were still working on that model. So as every country around the world is bracing for the impact of technology, people started retooling their standards and assessments as they are here in China. And because of this fundamental change in education, we needed to provide new curriculum and new tools to support diverse learners. So those diverse learners, every single one of us, needs to be able to consume information, to think about it critically, and then ultimately to express our point of view effectively. These are the three skills that in the knowledge age will be most beneficial to everyone. We heard a lot about robotics and AI and other technologies replacing low-skilled jobs and the focus on high-skilled jobs. In the US specifically, new standards and assessments came out, so the Common Core State Standards, and many people are aware of them across the globe, and new high-stakes tests came with them. And so the ACT, the SAT, many of the college placement exams, the state assessments, all retooled around these skills, driving billions of dollars into new technology, new curriculum, and professional learning for teachers. As countries also go to access English, there is interest across the globe in learning not just basic English, but the kind of English that helps you be prepared for college and career. So we do that through the CERCA framework for critical thinking, where across subjects, we teach students how to make claims, how to support them with evidence, how to explain their reasoning clearly, how to address counter-arguments civilly, and how to use audience-appropriate language. We've won many awards and have had many accolades come from people like Bill Gates, who is particularly interested in sophisticated literacy skills. He called us a game-changing technology, and we are partnering with Gates Ventures on developing additional tools and resources for teaching this on scale. And here's why. It's because we have results. We are a proven product where, according to controlled studies that we've been able to participate in, we have about 4 times more reading growth than the next most effective reading product that was studied. We're seeing about 2 years of reading gains per year in our implementations in schools, and about 20% gains in writing achievement within 8 weeks. So as we continue to scale across districts, where, for example, in this district, 13% more students are meeting and exceeding standards after really about 18 months, or in this district, which was actually one of the highest performing districts in the US, but who, with the new standards, fell far below standard, and we're able to double the number of students meeting and exceeding standards in a year. So as we continue to develop the product, we continue to develop these results. And essentially what we provide is a library of English language arts, science, social studies, and math, reading and writing. It works at 11 levels from grades 3 through higher ed and across subject areas. So students can learn literacy not just in English, but in science, math, and social studies as well. There's a research-based approach built into the technology. This is what produces the results. And this rigorous critical thinking process delivers students with the capability of being able to read and write more effectively and express their point of view verbally more effectively. We work across many of the major school districts in the United States. We have strategic partners in the United States, but we also see a huge opportunity internationally, where there are currently 1.5 billion English learners who are learning basic English, who will want to access the economy like everyone else, and therefore will need to go beyond the basics. And this is the link that we fill. The college and career readiness link for English language arts. And we think we're uniquely positioned with TAIL as our strategic partner, and 16,000 US teachers who are already trained and ready to teach small private online classes and individual classes, as we are doing today with Chinese learners.
Yeah, don't be shy to read questions, through questions. Oh, you have preview? Oh. Yeah, I can show you a little 1-minute video of what it looks like in class in schools. Thank you, Eileen. You're becoming even more popular after today. Okay.
Questions?
Questions, yeah.
Right now, we just in June began piloting with our trained teachers and delivering small private online classes. And because of where we begin, which is in American grade 3, which is probably more like grade 5 or 6 here in China, we are targeting right now the group of students who is studying for TOEFL and SAT and applying often to foreign high schools or universities. But I think that there's actually a bigger opportunity even at the college and graduate school application level, because middle and high school students are very busy here. And so we know that people who are seeking careers in American businesses or want to go to UK, Australia, or US colleges and business schools are actually really interested in this level of critical thinking instruction and reading and writing at that level. And so we have 2 partners, including TAL, and are definitely open to speaking with more of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you very much. And if 在座的各位有资源可以合作的话，就是建议大家我们是一个共创的生态系统，建议大家在我们这个小圈子内，我们还是很希望共享资源来促进合作的。好 ，Let's welcome our next is ELSA. ELSA's Wu. She's going to talk about her company. She's the founder and the CEO. ELSA.
Hey, 你好. Hey, good evening, everybody, and it's my pleasure to be here. I'm Wu Van. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ELSA. ELSA is the AI that using voice recognition technology that we developed in order to help people around the world with English pronunciation. So I started ELSA out of my personal struggle when I first moved from Vietnam to the US for my MBA at Stanford University about 8 years ago. And when I first moved there, even though I had been learning English growing up since I was 5, the first few months was extremely challenging for me because when I spoke English, people in America had a really hard time understanding me. And every single time I said something, they all stopped me and asked me to repeat what I just said and keep asking me, hey, excuse me, what did you just say? Can you repeat that? And the moment that they do it over and over, I really lost my confidence. It's extremely hard for me to convey myself in a very fluently way. And in this journey, I'm not alone because there are 1.5 billion people learning English actively right now. And it's not that we don't know English. We can read and write really well, and we're very good in grammar. In fact, most of us who have been learning English growing up are probably even better in grammar than an average American when it comes to the rules of grammars. And yet, when it comes to speaking and be understood, it's a lot harder for us to grasp that skill. And from the research that I did when I was at Stanford, we learned that when people speak English with a very strong accent, you are perceived to be 30% less trustworthy. And people do it unconsciously. It's not that they intentionally distrust us, but it's just when you speak with a more accent, people don't think that you're equally smart and capable. Company loses their productivity due to miscommunication. And from a lot of data in the labor census, people who speak English with a strong accent or don't speak English well earn usually 40% less than those who speak English well. So as I looked into this problem and coming from a personal struggle myself, I really believe that this is a really big problem, and that's why we built ELSA. ELSA stands for English Language Speech Assistant, to really help solve this problem. I myself had been learning English since I was 5, had been living in Vietnam, Europe, and in the US. Working very closely with the language learning market. I also co-partner with my co-founder CTO, Xavier, who's a 15-year experience as a research scientist in AI and voice recognition technology. We also work with leading experts around the world about AI and voice recognition technology and linguistics. And together, what we do is we build our own voice recognition technology that has the unique ability to listen to you when you speak English, and then we detect the exact errors as you make at every single individual sound level and tell you exactly when you speak English, not only that you don't speak it right, but where exactly are you wrong and how do you fix that. When I learned English in the US to improve my pronunciation, I had a speech therapist that was sitting down with me one-on-one, listening to every single thing that I said, and then told me, hey, that particular sound is wrong, and here's on how you move your tongue and your lips in a different position so that you can fix those errors. And that's how we try to mimic that experience using ELSA through an AI. We're going to give you a quick demo of what the technology can do. And there was a personal example, it's a very embarrassing example of mine when I first walked into an interview in the US. of how I mispronounced and how I got really terrible feedback. And this is a very common errors that a lot of Asian has been making as well. So we give the users a word and they speak information shit. So that's the wrong way of saying the word.
To make the E sound, try to spread your lips and slightly lengthen the vowel. Sheet.
And now you will hear the right
Information
way.
sheet.
And then you're going to try to repeat that. Information sheet. So as you see in the example here, the ability of the technology that we built, which is very different from any current voice recognition technology that's developed by Google, by Siri, by Alexa, is that we can identify the exact errors as you make. And then we tell you that phonetic hints and suggestions on how you move your tongue and your lips differently so that you can fix those errors. As you people come into the app, we ask them to do an assessment test at the beginning, based on which we then tailor the different kind of curriculum that you learn, because each of you, whether you come from the same country or not, you might be struggling with different kind of pronunciation challenges. And so we're going to tailor that curriculum for you. You might be focusing more on intonation, you might be focusing more on stress, and you might be focusing more on pronunciation. So each of you are going to have a very tailored curriculum. The way how we build our data and build our own voice recognition technologies, we collect the voice data from all of us speaking English around the world, and using that deep learning and machine learning model, we then change the model and train it again so that the more users coming from China, the more users coming from Vietnam or Japan, the smarter we can get by identifying the errors that you make. And we actually had a better ability to recognize accents. Like Google or Alexa might understand Americans very well, but when it comes to a Chinese person speaking English to Google or a Vietnamese person speaking English to Google, they might not recognize you that well, but we have the ability to do better than that when it comes to voice recognition technology. So I'm just running out of time, so I'm just going to be quickly. What we have been doing is we have ELSA directly to the students. We also use ELSA in school for all of the teachers who want to help their students with speaking, that they don't have the capacity to do so one-on-one. We also started working with companies around the world in order to help their training their employees in language learning and improving their pronunciation. Thank you.
Thank you, Vin. Thank you for making English learning much easier for us. And just, any questions for Vin? It could be the next, a huge app for English learning, speaking.
Thank you.
Yeah, when do you have personal contact? You can talk to anybody here that make everybody know your product.
Quick question. Sorry. Can you talk a little bit about your users? Perhaps I missed that. Your number of users, any sort of average time on the app, what revenues are, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we currently have about closer to 5 million users globally. The majority of them are in Asia. And average time on app is, it really varies, but usually users come into the app about 4 times a week, and they spend about 12-15 minutes per time on the app. And we are currently, majority of our business model is B2C, which is a subscription model. So the students can get 7 days for free at the beginning, and after that they pay about $3 a month. Thank you.
Okay. And 我们下一个项目是 Lingvist. Lingvist? Yeah, here. Yeah. 背景音乐。
Good afternoon. I'm going to tell you about Lingvist and how Lingvist is applying AI to accelerate human learning. So this was actually 5 years ago. I'm at the right top corner. I was a trader at the trading floor, but this is actually nothing special compared to my co-founder, who was a nuclear physicist and a data scientist in CERN. CERN stands for Center of European Nuclear Research. And he was part of a team which actually discovered the Higgs boson. So core of our product is very much based on Mike's knowledge acquired in CERN. we both are quite good at the data and maths, but they share a common weakness, which is languages. And I still get stressed if I think back to my language classes in the school. And might agrees with me. So when we were thinking about, we actually realized that although technology has made a lot of progress in recent years, human learning capacity hasn't really scaled. And this was a starting point for Lingvist. We started Lingvist to build AI-driven technology to accelerate and personalize human learning. And this is where we are today. We have a language learning app. There's a course wizard, which is an algorithmic way to generate courses. Algorithmic, it means scalable, fast, and personalized. And classroom, which is to assist teachers to use us. But this is nitty-gritty, this is front-end. Actually, the whole thing is here at the back end. So our back end stands on the 3 pillars. Our big database machine learning is actually able to assess and predict your current knowledge. We know very precisely what you know, and it enables us to actually propose you the next steps which are optimal. Also, we assess your memory. So basically, we are able to assess the time when it makes sense for you to learn the new things and when it makes sense for you to repeat the stuff that you have learned already. And thirdly, we are really proud of our AI-driven content generation tool, which we launched actually recently. So we are able algorithmically to generate content. And algorithmically, it means fast, it means scalable, it means personalization. So this is the real product. You can go to App Store and Google stores and download it. It's basically very simple. It's a hub where you can start learning. There's a real learning section. There's a practice area where you can exercise different skills, reading, speaking, listening. And then there's a data center where you can actually see your progress in data. And then there is a teachers management feature. There's a light classroom management feature where teachers can actually follow the progress of their individual students. And then there is a course wizard. And the course wizard, as I mentioned already, is something we are really proud of. Everyone here talks about AI. I don't know how many of you have some real AI behind it. I believe in our course wizard, we have really sort of applied AI. And it basically enables teachers to generate specific courses instantly with algorithms. So we have schools using us, so I will play a quick demo from Desert Ridge High School from Arizona, where the students are commenting our product.
It's a really good companion to the classroom because what you're learning in the classroom really it mingles in with the vocabulary you're learning through Lingvist.
I've noticed, like, with Lingvist in class, when the teacher asks us something, maybe we haven't, like, really learned it yet, I'll be like, I just learned that on Lingvist, and it's kind of funny, because I, like, learned it on Lingvist before I did in class.
No one really pays attention in class. I mean, everyone's on their phones, that's technology. So now that we have the computers and we're doing it on there, I think it just makes it more of a fun learning.
The thing I like about Lingvist is that it uses words I would see in everyday languages. So if I go to a hospital and I see like a Spanish sign, I would be able to understand it because of what I've seen from Lingvist, but not something that I've learned in Spanish now.
The people who made the program are really helping people I know at this school because pretty much everyone in the language course does it. And I've introduced it to a few of my friends outside the language courses here and just at different schools. So it's really useful.
So in addition to positive reviews from the very users, we have done a study. University of Tartu did a white paper on us, which showing that we are at least 4 times faster than the next competitor. And the more users we get, the more data we get. We actually believe we can get much better because the algorithms develop and the data it bases the decisions is improving. We are at the language learning, but actually we believe the algorithms we are building are universal. So we want to move to fact-based learning, and then the next step would be already universal education. So if you believe fast learning is good, knowing more is good, and you are with us, so come and talk to us.
When I want you to ask a question, because you seem doing a similar industry and product. And do you have any question for him or his product?
Can you talk more about that vision beyond the language learning and how you want to apply to other areas of beyond language learning?
Yeah, when we started, we really started from the vocabulary acquisition, and now we have bridged over to sort of real language learning. And it's working especially well, it's combined with the classroom or tutors. But we believe that the algorithms that we have built are actually universal in a way that we can apply them to fact-based learning. So we are trying out different fields at STEM, mathematics, physics, and engineering, and then we see where we go from there. So from the current stage, we want to bridge to fact-based learning as the next step.
If you have any question about English learning, just talk to us in private, and you're quite welcome here. Next project, we welcome the 非常有名的这个 Mr. Wordsmith， 让他来教你们应该怎么给孩子教每个单词。
Thank you. Mrs. Wordsmith is on a mission to teach every child in the world the words they need to know to succeed in school and in life. We focus on age 3 up until about 15 for now. We believe that language learning today is tedious for children, and that most of them would rather be on video games. There are high stakes out there today. They're under a lot of exam pressure, and it's heartbreaking. And there's a lot of demands on their time. There's rivalry between school and play, between teachers and parents, between parents and parents. So we've designed a solution or a platform that we think bridges the worlds of gaming and education. We create paper and apps that combine world-class Hollywood illustration with machine learning and world-class pedagogy, so that kids develop a voracious appetite for learning words, and not just any words. We take them way beyond the vocabulary of basic English onto more rare words that they call Tier 2 English. The National Literacy Trust recently did a study that children who learn vocabulary the Mrs. Wordsmith way learn it 50% faster, and they learn 50% more, and they love it. It's a very simple solution, and it works because there's multi-decadal research behind it, visual learning, humor to activate engagement. We always like to show people. We don't really like to tell people how to learn, so I try and keep my presentations very slim this way. Vocabulary is a critical building block of language learning and of literacy, as you all know, in particular for second language acquisition. When children don't understand more than 2 to 5% of the vocabulary in any text, they lose their confidence and they stop reading it. It's not easy to produce what we produce, and I'm going to show you some of the paper and app products in a second. It's very thought and labor intensive. We employ a lot of Hollywood artists out of DreamWorks and Pixar, and writers. We employ a machine learning team and also a pedagogical team that's led by Professor Susan Newman at NYU, who used to be the former Assistant Secretary of Education of the United States. We are based in London, however, and there's a lot of data that goes into the way in which we curate words. We are tagging words topically because it's very important to take children through the interest graph and what they're interested in, and it's easier for teachers and parents to teach topically. We are refabricating a semantic map for children based on what I call second derivative. We call it the monster map, access to language. In this case, you can see that This gives you a broader ecosystem of all the words around the word monster. Typically, if you pull up any semantic map, you'll just get synonyms of giant, beast, and sea creature. But we take you through what monsters are like. How scary are they? Terrifying, hair-raising. Are they mean? Are there famous monsters? How do monsters eat? What do they eat? Children, slugs, villagers, humans. You'll see some applications for this in a second. We have the largest illustrated word bank in the world of hand-drawn illustrations. It's pretty difficult to catch up with us at this point. We've been doing this quietly for a while. Next year is going to be our digital unveiling. We've been working quietly and hard to produce the next bunch of things I'm going to show you. So here's a video from our first app that we're launching in March. It's going to be a Minecraft for vocabulary, not based on Minecraft, but it's a world that you explore where you interact with vocabulary that has very high quality visuals. Don't know if I can play this actually. So all of the words in our ecosystem are animated and interactive. Kids can navigate this world. They can switch the lights on and off. They will encounter a whole range of words. This is for age 3 to 8, around daily life, school life, social, emotional learning, 21st century topics. There's even a whole little room in this world on 3D design. One of the characters, Oz, designs her own 3D teddy bear emporium. And it's a subscription app that's launching in March on iOS and on Android worldwide. We have already an e-commerce business that is growing triple-digit year on year. We are one of the fastest growing publishers in the world, and we sell, as I said, paper products because we believe very much in the ecosystem of digital and paper combined, and all of our products are mutually reinforcing. It's just another way of getting that spaced repetition to the child, and at this age group, paper is still very important. And we basically leverage those assets across both ecosystems. And we have a series of illustrated dictionaries. We've got a series of books coming out that are what we call Rich or Scary for a new generation in February, and a whole assortment of other products. We're also launching next year a Google Docs integration. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's got all kinds of use cases around getting vocabulary playlists, peer editing of work, designing your own comic strips using this image bank. This is targeting primary school, which would be ages 8 until 13. And that's the end of it, which is try, because you might actually be able to reach a lot of children and develop them and make them really excited about learning more words.
Thank you, Sofia. I like the picture reaching for the stars. Very funny. Any questions for Sofia? Because Mr. Wordsmith 被称为十字界的皮克斯. It's a very strong team, IP, very detail-oriented. If any questions, you can ask Sofia. Ask for her opinion.
How's the user engagement?
Sorry?
How's the user engagement?
Our user engagement, well, right now, we're only launching these 2 apps next year, so I can't give you digital numbers. But we have a lot of testing feedback on the paper, and engagement is extremely high. We've got 85% repeat purchase from customers. We've shipped over 200,000 units. We haven't been around for very long. In certain categories that we sell, we're climbing to the top of the charts. So it's strong. We get great feedback. Professor Susan Newman did some studies in schools in New York City, which I'm happy to share, actually. Some of it's public on our website, but the feedback from teachers was that every time a teacher walked into the class and said they were going to use Mrs. Wordsmith, the children stood up and cheered, and they had a difficult time getting the kids to behave again because they were so excited to use the product.
任何问题欢迎和 Sofia 在私下进行沟通、进行交流。Okay, thank you, Sofia. Thank you very much. 我们下一个应该是Wonder Workshop 奇幻工坊，让我们有请奇幻工坊亚太区的杨志伟老师。
Hi. My name is Brian from Wonder Workshop. We are invested by TL since last year. I want to talk a little bit about our experience being on the ground in China as an American company and share some of our learnings, our experiences. So this is Dash. Is our sort of signature product. It's a robot that teaches kids how to code, and we also have 5 different apps for different age group. The idea of having a robot versus just having kids look at a screen or app to help kids how to code is that we think is more interactive experiences. Kids, as you know, they like to see things moving, making noises and different lights. We think for young kids, age 6 to 10, it's kind of hard for them to stare at a monitor for 15 minutes, try to solve a programming problem. But if we gamify that and we give them some sort of feedback in the physical world, i.e., the line of code can actually make a robot do something, and you feel, the magical power of coding that might make coding a more interesting experience for, such young children. And we started doing that because we saw a trend back in 2013, 2012. There are only 1 or 2 countries in the world that mandate students to learn how to code at a very young age. The first one being Estonia, European country, and they also have the digital citizenship program. And after that was UK and then US, so more and more. In 4 or 5 years' time, as of now, there are about 25 countries that coding is part of the curriculum in either middle school or in some cases elementary school. In China, there's this AI policy since last year where computer science become one of the subjects you can take when you try to enter colleges. So mathematics, English, Chinese, then you can pick computer science or physics. In Korea, since next year, all the middle school students need to learn how to code. In Japan, by 2020, it's compulsory too. So we start doing this coding education robot before this trend was taken off. That give us some sort of first mover advantage. So as of now, we are the market leader in US. We're in about 25% of the schools. We're in about 30,000 elementary schools, all 50 states in United States. And we are also in all these other countries. We are in about 60 countries. This is the total solution that we have. We have different robots for different age group. We have a curriculum, teacher's guide. We have online teacher training program. We built a global community of the coders and the learners, we host the robotic competition that challenge everybody on a global basis. On the last count last year, we have about 25,000 kids sign up from all 60-something countries. This is our story before we enter the Chinese market. And also we host, we work with KaDa.org and participate in AlphaCode activity. We're in warehouse. You can see the little robot there, along with Barack Obama, doing a very cool fist bump with a young girl. So from a single product company, introducing Dash, the blue robot, to the world. Now we have a wider product portfolio. The black and white there, those are called Q, and people and kids can learn real programming languages like JavaScript with that. And we are developing, as one of the gentlemen pointed out, from Meta, the Shenzhen company pointed out, the kindergarten to 8 years old children is a different demographic. They can barely read, so they need very different experiences. So working on a new product that's catered to that demographic is coming on next year. Because the younger children, you don't really want them to spend too much screen time looking at the tablet, the screens. So short story, our company, we have one product, Dash, then we have Dots, we have some accessories, and since last year, we have this new robot called Q for middle school, and next year there will be a new robot coming out for the kindergarten age group. We are in, like I said, we're in all 50 states. We are by far the most popular coding robot in the American market. We work with a lot of organizations to run teacher training program, to work with public school districts. And like I said, we have the robotic competition. So since 2 years ago, we raised money from Chinese investors like Sinoventure, Double Harper, and last year we raised another 20 million from TL and Tencent and others Asian investors like SoftBank, and that really started our Asian expansion journey. Right now we are having more joint venture discussion with Chinese investors and some world investors in Singapore, because we do think Asian market is very different from American market or Western market in general. People are more demanding about the content that you provide, the curriculum, the teacher training material. So we have very detailed script-based teacher training guide and different grade of textbooks, and we have online PowerPoint that teachers can use to run the coding classes without much coding experiences. And also we have the awards and certificates that all the Chinese parents and teachers will demand if you were to roll out any classes in their institution, may it be public school or after school. So those are the sort of localization work that we did since a year ago, and we're still doing it. So we welcome anybody who is interested to come talk to us. We even, in some of the cases, we even work with the after schools or public school, and we help them decorate a sort of beige flavor classroom with our visual DNA. We source the furniture, the chairs, the tables, everything children friendly, safe. So to create a turnkey solution for them to roll out a coding classroom. Those are some of our partners in China and on a worldwide basis. In China, obviously, TL is one, and we have Xiaoma Wang Coding School, and East China Normal University in Lichang, which has about 4,000 kindergarten in their investment portfolio. On a global basis, we work with the like of KaDa or Microsoft, Acer, and Apple. Those are just the images of our textbook, what it looked like, our teacher training guide, our sort of classroom deck, and this is our online teacher training material, and all of these were built in the last 12 months by a very small team in China. And this is our first public school classroom solution. It just went live in Shanghai about a month ago, thanks to TL who worked with us on this project. And the plan is we will work together and sort of implement probably 100 more coding classrooms like this in the entire China in the coming years. I'm going to skip that. This is our team. And we have a WeChat, so if you're interested, scan this, and there are no information, or come talk to myself or my lovely colleagues right there, Lily and Wei. Please raise your hand. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I'm totally running out of time.
The Wonder Workshop has been a very successful story, launching in China and developing in China. So for any foreign companies that Brian Yang may be the guy you want to look for, you're going to talk to him about your Chinese strategy and how to expand in China and how to work here. Yeah, but thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Okay, let's welcome Amira Learning. Amira Learning, you're very patient and you're a gentleman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hey, I'm Mark Angel. I'm the CEO of Amira Learning. Our mission is to reinvent learning to read with artificial intelligence. As you have heard from other folks, there are tons and tons of people around the world trying to learn to read and learn English right now. 230 million students in our demographic, which is basically age 5 to age 9. And what is really important is that for each and every one of those students, their ability to master reading early will be the most important factor in their life and career success. What the neuroscience has kind of figured out is that reading is an unnatural act. It does not come easy. And that's why to learn to read, kids spend a huge amount of time on the laps of parents or teachers reading out loud. Up to this point, technology hasn't really been able to replicate that fundamental process in the learning to read story. So at Amira, what we've been focused on is bringing to bear some pretty incredible intellectual property. At Carnegie Mellon, they've been working for 20 years in their AI and robotics lab to learn how to listen to young kids. And at Renaissance Learning, which is where most of the Amira team comes from, we have been spending many, many years figuring out how to assess and understand what kids know in the K-3 area. We've been able to bring all of that capability together to create the first intelligent reading assistant. What Amira does is listen to kids as they read out loud, assess their oral reading fluency, figure out how to coach them on a personal basis, and bring to bear interventions that have been proven by reading scientists to really work. One of the really crucial things about our approach is that we've designed Amira to be a working example of human-machine synergy. Amira isn't just for kids, it's for teachers too. You'll see this in a minute. It's built in recognition of the fact that teachers need help in the classroom. Amira is like a little army of assistants that takes over some of the chores like assessing kids, like allowing them to leverage what happened in the instructional process during the practice center, being their data scientists, and automating the production of running records. So, does Amira work? You bet. Leading universities around the world have done field trials in Canada, in the United States, in Tanzania, in Ghana, and many other places. And pretty remarkably, Amira has actually outperformed giving a student their own human tutor. See this here. Amira's effect sizes are actually considerably bigger, not just than conventional technology, but bigger than actually providing a human tutor. And that's because the avatar model you're about to see really works. Kids love it. So here's Amira in action, working with a 5-year-old.
Great. Let's read Mandarin together.
I am making and I can dream, said make. It is a cake that I can draw. Here he said.
The word is dream. Now you try reading this word.
Dream.
Keep reading.
At night I can dream and dream, said Nick. I dreamed that I am a moose. He said, I dream I am a moose in the forest.
Watch my friend's lips say forest.
Forest.
Now you say the word.
Forest, said Mick. It is not that I can dream, he said.
Can you tell me about the story we just read? There are questions for you on the screen. Inside each question is a place where you can choose the right answer. Just pick the word that you think best explains what we just read.
So we'll stop there, but what you can see is that Amira tests for comprehension, she helps with vocabulary, she builds phonic awareness. You saw about 3 of 30 different interventions that she brings to bear with her AI, trying to figure out in a given circumstance exactly how that child can benefit most from assistance. Right now, she's about 96 to 97% accurate in detecting errors, and she is getting better due to the normal behavior of AI, which is as we see more kids and more data, there's constant improvement. So Amira is distributed in the United States by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, the largest company in K-12. They're bringing kind of the muscle of more than 600 account executives to bear. We're already in use in some of the largest and best school districts in America. So we're still at an early stage. The product just launched a few months ago, but we expect that in a very short time, Amira will be working hand in hand with teachers to create millions and millions of motivated and masterful young readers. So thanks very much. What questions do you have?
Thank you, Mark Andrews. Wonderful presentation. Any questions? Just ask Mark, and he will solve your problems.